Hello, Tamara here from Postcat Crafts. Nice of you to join me. In today's video we're going to be doing part 3 in our landscape album. This is made using the Tonic Studios Memory Book Die 2, and this is their collection number 2. I've already started making up a few pages, so if you want to go back to part 1, I will put the link to it up there. Okay, and then you can then watch the series from the beginning. Now, in part 2, we actually looked at and we cut all our pages for this memory book. So I'm not actually going to go through all of that again, but if you want to see it in real time of how I've done it, then I will put the link up just there for you. And then if you fast forward to 11 minutes and 5 seconds, it should then explain and give you the measurements. But I'll also give the measurements now so that you've got them here. So I will put them down the side for you to see the measurements. So we're going to be working on our the page that we've cut out our top notch using our envelope punch board. We're going out on the portrait side, so we're going to be working on that one today. Now I have no idea what I'm going to do, so this is just me crafting. So there could be a few mistakes. It could go horribly wrong, or it could go amazing. So let's get on with it. So as I said, I've cut my pages out, so I'm going to just put that one to one side and work on this. Now we will need to cut our pattern paper out of our layer die. Right, you need your layer die for your page that you've cut out. Now, as I've said in previous videos, this is the second to largest die in the collection. So this is the second to largest album that you can make. Now, for the punch out to work, this is the top one that you can make. You can't make the biggest one because it's got a straight edge here, so it looks a bit odd. So that's why I've used the second to largest. So we're going to punch out, sorry, not punch out, we're going to die cut 2 of these. Now I'm using the Gilded Lilly collection paper pad from Graphic 45. I'm on a mission to use my papers because I store them, I buy them and I store them and I don't use them, and it's such a shame. So I'm on a mission to use all my paper up before I buy any more, and that's very hard. And I think I did succumb this morning and I did buy a little paper pad, but it was a good offer, so that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Now I'm not going to use my magnetic shim when I cut my pages or anything, because it tends to warp the paper, so I just use the metal shim. And because this is directional, I'm actually going to cut it this way so that my flowers are going the right way. So I'm going to cut all the way up there. And then let's cut them beautifully, I think. Just take that off. I tend to save my washi tape as well. Okay, let's take that away. And I don't need those, so I can throw them in the bin. Okay, so we've cut our pages out, and I've cut them correctly on so that, because this is on a directional piece of paper, I've actually cut them the right way. Sometimes you put the die on and you cut it the wrong way, so you either got to repurpose it and use it somewhere else, or just go with it. So always make sure you place your die on your paper before you cut it, in that way you'll know which way the die is going to cut. So now we're just going to cut out our depression that is there, and I use the envelope punch board. Okay, so we're going to cut this end here because this is the end so it's going this way, isn't it? So yeah, so I'm going to cut that end, and we're going to punch at 1 1/4 of an inch. So we're measuring from this end here at 1 1/4, like so. Just get a bit more into shot. Okay, there we go. So 1 1/4 inch, punch down, and then we're going to just flip it over so that the other side of the paper is facing upwards, and we're going to cut again at 1 1/4. Okay, so you create this hole, or say W. You see that as a W, like so. We're going to chop this bit off in a moment. So we're going to cut the other one because while we've got the punch board out. So just making sure I get it exactly right. So that's going to go on the back. So we're going to cut this edge here, and again do the same, 1 1/4, punch, and 1 1/4 again, and punch. Now if you haven't got one of these envelope punch boards, you can either use a circle punch and just punch out half of it so that you create a little finger hole, or there are punches on the market that you can buy that actually do punch that little niche out, and I think they're actually made by We Are Memory Keepers, but I can't remember. Don't know if I can find it quickly to show you. Yes. It's this little, it's called a thumb notch. Can you see that? Thumb notch. And that's what it looks like. It's from We Are Memory Keepers. And let me just find a spare piece of paper. And so, a piece of paper here, you just put and punch down, and then it creates that little notch. So that's an alternative to using the envelope punch board. Okay, so that's it. You know, it's another neat idea. I might use that on a later video. Right, so we just now need to cut off this middle piece here, and find my craft knife, and okay, so let's line it up. So that's one, and then the other. Okay, so we're going to work on this side first, and so this was this one. No, that goes on the back. It's this one. So I'm going to work on this side, which I'm going to just put that to one side. Now I'm just going to ink my edges. This is beautiful paper. I just love all the colours. It really is beautiful. Now I just make a very simple pocket, and we can use some tags as well to put inside it, because it's always nice to do the fancy pages, but it's also very nice just to be very simple and create you know, something that's just very simple. So that is going to go that way. Right, so that is that. These are the ones I've bought. These are on, I think, a one-day special on Hochanda a week or so ago, I think. And I've bought these. I wasn't given these by Tonic because I am on their design team. So some of the things like the memory book dies, they came with my DT package, but this video is not monetized at all, so it is just basically me that's doing this video off my own back, so I'm not getting paid to do it. I use other dies apart from Tonic's. I just kind of liked these ones. I thought these ones would be quite nice if we're just going to do a pocket for a border. I don't know if they're going to work out, so we're going to give it a try. Now, I'm not sure which one to use. I think we might go with the Lily because the book is Gilded Lilly. So I think we might go, these ones here to me look like they're lilies. So I think we'll use that one. Well, what I've decided to do, we're going to use this, the Blossom one, I think this is called. Blossom Strip Die Set. Okay, and it creates this lovely effect. So we're going to use that. Now I've measured my page, if I can find where I've put it. Right, I've measured my page here, and I've measured it from this corner here to this corner here, and I've measured it at 6 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so what I've done is I've just cut a piece of card that measures 6 1/8 of an inch, okay, and just chopped it down, and then I've just left it whole like so. And then what I did was I've just bang some of that out because I've just had to go and to see if I can get it to work. So what I did was I then placed my die, this die, along the top. Okay, so like that, trying to centralize it as much as you can. Okay, and get it as level as you can, and then I've just stuck that down. Okay, and then I've come along with the smaller one. I'm just going to butt it up to that die like so, and then I'm going to centralize it, but I'm going to bring it down a fraction, about 1/8 of an inch. I mean, but it's entirely up to you, whatever you want to you know, whatever gap you want, you obviously do. But I don't want too big a one, and I don't want a too smaller one. So I'm just sticking them down, and then I'm going to put this through our die cut. Now I may need to cut part of this off because it might not cut properly, but I'm going to put in my magnetic shim as well. Right, now moment of truth. Now I'm going to have to put in another shim. It's because I've cut it lengthways and not cut it sort of on the diagonal. I don't really want to bring it up. Okay, let's just add another couple of shims in there. Now that's brilliant. Okay, as can you see that with using, I don't think you can, with using the metal, the magnetic shim, it does warp your page, as you can see there. But it's not going to matter too much because we're not doing a page, this is just a pocket, so it's not going to matter a great deal. Okay, right, I'm going to speed this bit up because you really don't want me to see me poking out bits of card. Right, before I speed it up, I'm just going to cut now. So how I'm doing it is I'm measuring from the tallest of your detailed of the die, and I'm going to make this about 3 1/4. Okay, so this here, if you can see, I'll bring you down. There we go, maybe over. Okay, so this part is the tallest part of my die, so I'm measuring from there, so that is touching the 3 1/4 mark. Okay, so I know that I've got enough space then to clear this detailed part of my die, so I'm just going to cut it off. Okay, so that's the detail. I've got to poke all the bits out, but that's the detail of the die so far. Okay, that's all my little bits taking out. I've got a few more tiny little things. Ones in there, you always seem to leave 1 or 2 in. Okay. Yeah, I think they're all out. And then what I did was I then cut my cream cardstock to the same, to 3 1/4. But I just went up over the 3 1/4. Not a great deal, just say a tiny bit, just so that it's over the top. And then 6 1/8. And then that will give us our backing for our pocket, like so. Okay, right, so you need then to stick this down, and then but before we stick it down, we're going to ink it up. Now I think I'm going to ink all of it, so you will need your whatever you use to put your ink on. So I'm going to use this. Excuse me, it's still dirty. Let me give that a clean. Oh, I think it's the other side. Turn it over. I know what it is. It is my Jane Davenport. So just going to use a bit of alcohol rub. It should then come off, yes. This is just hand sanitizer. It works brilliantly to get off ink and things, and clean your desk as well. And this one smells very nice. So let me just dry my work surface. So there, it's good as new. And that is this is just hand sanitizer that I've got. This is just a foaming one, but you can use the normal gel, works as well. So little tip. Okay, so we're just going to ink the edges and go in a little bit. Okay, like so. I just want to give this a bit of colour, but I didn't want to colour my white sorry, not my cream card, because I'm using cream. But you just be gentle when you go over the detail, because you will tear it. Okay, last bit. I think that is everything. Right, I might also use a darker colour, so go with my ground espresso, and somewhere in here I know I've got a, okay, let's just use a bit of foam. Now I just want to, this is just going to kiss the edges, so all this is going to do is just make the edges of your card slightly darker than the rest. Okay, then look a bit more authentic. So you don't need a lot, just a tiny bit. Okay, I think that's all of my bits inked, and then I'm just going to go over the top just to blend that in. Okay, it looks rather dark, but I quite like that actually. There we go. Put that away so I don't mistakenly pick that up. And then once against our back card, once against our cream card, it really stands out. Right, what we're going to do now is we need to stick this on. So I'm just going to put some glue around the edges, and like so, and then up the side, and then I'm actually going to put some then on my hand. This is a Jodie Johnston special, because it really does seem to work. So just tap it on, all over, so you coat them. Okay, I think I've got more, just gonna put a bit more on, just along the edges there. There we go. Right, and then just stick it down so that your edges come together, and it doesn't matter if it overlaps a little bit, just as long as you've got it all firmly down. Right, so we've fussy cutted that out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink the edges around it so that it hides my white line, and then it just looks more professional. There are bits that I am going to have to just go in and redo because I've missed some, like that bit there, but that is understandable. Because I'm not working with the bestest of scissors. I can't seem to cut with small scissors, I don't know what it is. And we just want the edges, so don't go mad around it, because you don't want to sort of ruin that sort of gradient effect. As you can see, it looks quite nice actually. Right, so quick tidy, and then we'll stick it down. So let's get our page. So this is our page, so we can go ahead now and stick down the paper. like so. And then this can go on like so. Okay, so again we just want to put glue around the straight edges, so to speak. Don't glue obviously the top bit, so we need quite a bit of glue. And then we can stick it down as central as I can get it, like that. We'll bring it down just a touch. There we go. Make sure it's level. And then our little tags are going to go in there. Now I am going to put maybe a little sentiment or something there. Okay, I've just cut out a embellishment from the paper, from the paper band. I'm just going to back it onto my card. Now I haven't cut it pretty straight. Just do that. And I'm just going to ink the edges, and then that's going to hide my uneven edges. Okay, then just put it onto here. Okay. Now if you wanted to, you could obviously use your trimmer. I don't mind cutting freehand. Mainly I tend to try and I get them pretty straight. Not all the time. These small ones aren't too bad. There we go. Just going to move it over a tiny bit. There we go. We seem to be working in this tiny corner here. I think it's because I lean against my drawers. I have this side. Right, this is going to go here, like so. I know it's a shame I'm going to have to cover some of that up, but needs must. So, and put that like that. And then I've also fussy cut some of the flowers out of the some extra paper. So I'm just going to maybe position them around it, maybe one on top, sort of so to speak, just so it creates a little bit of a, maybe down here, that might be good. There we go. Just to give it a bit of interest. Yeah, I think maybe that one up. No, I can't put it there because that's just going to use the two, I think. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that arrangement. So we're going to just stick this down. Now you could also leave this free and have something else sticking, like another little tag. I think let's do that. So we're just going to there we go. We just glue around the edges and leave the top free, and then that way we can then have another little secret pocket in there. Okay, so take the extra glue off. Now let's get these down. Was it that one? And then that one, I think, because that can then go along the bottom. We'll go there, and then it's that one and that one. There, and I think it was those ones. Okay. I do apologise for all the bings. I tend to be in. I'm in high demand today. just there. Just cover that little bit up, as I don't want that showing. I could maybe have got that small one inside. So I'm just going to not chop. I'm just going to cut this bit off, because I don't want it as too big. Although I could put that. Yeah, actually that looks really nice. I'm going to put it there. And you won't see that that's, there we go. So that nearly, we just need to do now our tags. Right, we're going to cut our tags now. So you will need some of your Kraft Card, and our measurements are going to be 4.5 by 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 is there. Let's double check. Yes, that fits in there nicely. And we're going to make 3 of those, so do 3. 3 is fine. Okay, so around the edges, let's go with our decorative corner crocodile corner chomper, and this one I'm using is the Snub and Deco. Snub and Deco. Okay. So that's them cut. We've got this little pocket here. I'm actually going to use some of these embellishments that come in the paper pad, and I'm just going to cut them up because I want a pretty straight line. I've decided I'm going to use my trimmer. And I just want to trim off that excess paper, like so, and like so. I'm not doing very well with this one. There, that'll do. So, and then I'm going to use this one as well. So this says, keep calm and adjust your tiara. There we go. So we've got the 2 there. Now I'm just going to measure them. So that one is just under, just over, so 1 and 2, and so make that 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 by 2 7/8. I think that would be 2 1/4. Yeah. So 2 1/4. Let me just check they fit. Yes. So 2 1/4, 2 1/4 by 2 7/8. That's right. Yes. So just might take that down to 2 1/8, or maybe not that much. Yeah. Okay. So you just need to fiddle with your sizes to get them exactly right. As this isn't a it's not precise as such, you just need to fiddle with the sizes and adjust them accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to stick this one on, but first of all I'm just going to ink my edges. There we go. Just chop this excess bit off here, and then that's a one nice tag, and then the other. Just ink these edges. And these ones, I'll do the other ones in a second. And then these then hopefully are going to fit into our little pocket. That's one, and then two. So I'm going to display them like so, and then you can see that they are tags. And then these ones, I think that's quite nice. Our tags are this way, so that way was the long. That's the longest, yeah, so that needs to be, okay. So our longest side was 4.5, so this then is going to be cut down to 1/8 of an inch smaller. So 4.5, so this would be 4 3/8 of an inch. Okay, I'll get that. And then this side would be 3 5/8. Just double check. Perfect. And corner chump. And ink. I'm going to just set these like so, and in there. Now you could add a tab on there if you wanted to, or you know, some ribbon. Again, it's entirely up to you. So that is the first page that we're doing done. We've got the second page then, which is then going to go on the back. Right, let's get set onto our page 2 of the page that we're making. So we've done this one so far. So we've made that one, and I was going to use the same die again on the other page, but I thought because I've got the others, I might as well use a different one. I'm going to maybe keep the configuration the same, but obviously this here is going to be different, and then I thought I'd change it round, so I'm going to actually do the top in the cream card, and then the bottom bit that you see through is going to be in my craft card. Okay, I thought it'd be a slightly different. Okay, Okay, so that then is our die bit cut out. So now I'm going to cut this part down. So I'm going to cut, let's have a look. Hang on. Alright, we can turn it over. So I'm going to, what I've done is I've flipped it over so I'm cutting on the back side of the page, of the die cut. And I'm going to, the tallest part is at 3 inches. So I'm going to then cut that at 3. And that then should give me a nice finish. Then this needs to be cut then at 6 1/8, which it is, which that then should fit nicely on there. And then what we can do is we can then cut this down to 3, and you could even cut it down a little bit more if you wanted to, because obviously this bit here is not seen. If you wanted to cut down on the bulkiness of your album, but it's okay, I'm not going to worry too much. So that then is quite nice. You can see now it sort of stands out a lot. So I'm going to glue this down, and then we're going to fussy cut around it. But I'm going to actually move that up a bit, because I'll turn it over. Use the back. I hadn't caught all of the feather, so I had a bit sticking up. So what I've done is I've then pushed it up a bit so that it's then all stuck. So here's the other page, our back page. So we are just going to ink these edges. Then we can stick these down. So this is going to go again on here like so, and so we can go ahead and stick this down. So I've already cut my tags, and all I've done differently is instead of using Kraft Card, I've used cream cardstock as my mat. So I'm not going to ink these edges of the cream, I've just inked the edges of the patterned paper. And the cream paper measures 4.5 by 3 3¾ and then the pattern paper is 1/8 of an inch smaller, so that would make the pattern paper measure 4 3/8 of an inch by 3 5/8 of an inch. Just make sure I've got that right. Yes. Okay, so again cut 3, and then they should fit then into our little pockety closure bit like that. And then we're going to put something here, but I'm not sure what yet. I mean, I have cut these out of grey board. I could put something like that. No, don't know. That doesn't look too bad, but I think we'll stick to what we did on the other side. Now, what have we got here that we can take off? I'm going to use some of these as our for a little pocket. So this one is Let Them Eat Cake, because I don't want something that's too big, and it's not easy being a princess. Now these ones are from the 8x8 pad. That's why they're a lot smaller than the 12x12. That's what I do find that I love the 12x12 papers, I really do, but I also like the sizing of the 8x8. So if you're like me, then unfortunately you're gonna have to buy 2 paper pads of the same. So because I think you can get a lot more out of them by doing it that way. So they're going to be then our little tags that go in there. Now I could cut this bit out, so it's not actually going to be that shape, but I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. So let's cut down and then cut across. Like so. And then what I'm trying to do is just save the paper. I'm going to cut this part out here. Now, I wasn't going to fussy cut it, but I think I might actually. I think it would look a lot better. So I'm just going to cut this out very quickly. Are we going to go that, or are we going to go cream? I think let's go cream. Let's be a devil. Okay, so we're going to stick this on, and there we go. and then we're going to cut around it, leaving a little border if you can. Which I'm sometimes not very good at, but I'm going to try my best. One, say one side, so is everybody set for Christmas yet? I'm very nearly. I've got a few more presents left to buy, and then I've actually completed them, so I tend to try and get my Christmas presents bought pretty early, so that because I really don't like going into towns or city centres Christmas time, because I'm a little bit, I don't know what the word is, crowdophobe. I don't do well in crowds, so yeah, I tend to try and get it done as early as I can. Right, so that I think is going to go on there, and that's going to look quite nice. And you can still see that nice detail of the feather. So I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue from the 2 points downwards and leave the top bit open. So from the points, I'm just going to glue just around the edge, so that there we go. And then I'm going to put this at a jaunty angle. Get my words out. Okay. And so that then stuck that down, and these they might even fit in. They actually fit in landscape, I think. No, maybe not, because we're going to cover them. So let's get this bit that I'd already, that can go there, that fits nicely. Again, ink your edges. And put them down. Okay, I've just kind of eyeballed that, and then I'm just going to cut up and then across to give me a nice border, and then that can go in like so, and then one more. Again, I do apologise for all the beeping. It's my daughter, she's gone shopping, and she's gone to get something for me. So let's see, look, don't forget to ink your edges. She's gone to get something for me, and she keeps messaging me to see if what she's got is the right thing. Okay, so then that can go on there like so. And then again, I'm just going to eyeball the width. And again on this side. And then that then can go in there. And we can just then put them like so. And like that. There we go, and then that can act then as our little pool. Gives a little bit of interest, like that. Still think I need something here. So I've got some corner embellishments here. If few different sorts. That might just, actually that just adds a little bit of interest to that corner and finishes it off. Good thinking, Batman. Okay, I'm just going to put the glue on. And right, what I'm going to have to do is use some of my binding clips. Oops, just to keep that stuck down. Now, hoping these ones are going to be long enough, and they're not. Right, so that is stuck onto there. Will I get it this side? Oh no, just too small. Okay, oops. There we go. That should hopefully just keep it stuck down. I'm also going to do that on the other page because I had that corner there. So I think we'll put that on there. Again, just dot with your glue. I'm going to have to leave them to set, so while they're setting we can get on and make the little tag that, I'll say the tag that goes into the pocket that we're creating in between the two pages. Now I find one that I've done. So this is one I've made earlier. Now the measurements for this are, I cannot remember, so let's measure them. They are 4 1/4. Okay, that's that way. So 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. So 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. That is then your cardstock is what I'm looking for. And then for the okay, so let's cut that. So we want 6 1/2 by 4 1/4. Okay, so that then is the tag. And then to create the little thumb notch, we're going to call it, we're going to punch at 1 inch. So we put our cardstock in and punch at 1 inch on either side. So on the top, turn over, and exactly the same edge but on the opposite side. Okay, so you punch along the same line. Okay, then we need, so on the pages we've cut this bit out. We actually want this bit, so we're going to keep that bit in, and we're going to cut away the edges. Okay, just line the bottom of the ruler up and then just chop away. Ooh. Okay, and then that creates like your little thumb notch. And then what we're going to do is we need to just round the edges. So I'm using again the 1/4 inch, and this is just the rounding punch, this is not the decorative one. Okay, you may have to just sort of shimmy this one in a bit because obviously you've got the notch there, so you can't get the corner chomper in enough, so you just have to kind of fiddle it in, if that makes any sense. And then ink our edges. Yeah, so that is going to be so 4 inches by 5 7/8. I'll turn it that way. Okay, and again round your corners. And ink. Now for you, what you would do is you would then either back the other side with more pattern paper if you wanted to, or just use plain cardstock, and then that gives you your journaling portion of the tag if you so wished to, or you could stamp on it, do whatever, but I'm going to leave mine blank for time. And I've just got one more thing to do after this, which I've then got to go and find. Oh, you'd think I'd get these things ready, wouldn't you, really? So I do apologise. So that then goes on there, as straight as you possibly can. Okay. And then we just need then the metal embellishment that goes on the top. If you search that, I got these from a place called AliExpress, and I've had no problems with them. So that's then our 2 pages together. Obviously going to turn them over, and then they're going to sit something like that. So again, we're just going to put the glue around the 3 edges, okay, not at the top, and do not go here, because if you stick this bit down, you're reducing your opening for your tag. But I would leave the bottom bit, sorry, I'm saying that now, I would leave the bottom bit here, because that's going to be stuck by our double-sided tape. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Now I'm going to put glue on both pages, so I'm just going to put some up there and round there and round there, and then hopefully stick them together. And again, I'm going to use my binder clips. 3. Okay, I'm going to just leave that for a minute. I'll just check, make sure our tag fits, and yes it does. So that's very good. Okay, pull that out. Right, so let's see if we can get it stuck into our book. Or what we can do, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to stick them into our book just yet. Brilliant. Oh, I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. I hope you have enjoyed this little tutorial again. Thank you again for all your lovely comments that I received. I am overwhelmed, and it does really, I really love to read them. They're all so lovely. So thank you to all those people that have so far commented on all my videos. It gives me the courage and to carry on, which is brilliant, and it gives me the courage to do what I love doing, and I didn't think I would enjoy doing tutorials as much as I do. And I like to share my knowledge with people, wherever they are in their own creative journey. So we all help each other, which is brilliant. So as I said, if you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. I do like them thumbs. And subscribe if you would like to become one of my subscribers, and that way you will keep up to date with all my crafty videos that I post in the future. I'll put social media links in the description down below, as always. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in contact with me. You can contact me through social media or leave me a comment on the bottom of this video. If I haven't seen it within 2 days, then please comment again. It's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I've not seen the comment. And believe me, they do go missing, and sometimes they just don't get through. So with that being said, I will see you on the next one. Bye.